I've got loads of stuff here, you know, I can't wait to see what you've got.
Well, I've got, all right, okay. I just started off looking for things I can't get at home. There's a film here called Drive, He Said, right, which was directed by Jack Nicholson in 1970. I've always been intrigued to see it, but I didn't know it was available, and there it is. Well done, Amoeba.
What's in your bag, Sarah?
What's in my bag? I went a bit crazy in the Criterion section, predictably. There's Eyes Without a Face.
Mais répondez donc.
Jacques.
Est-ce que vous vous rendez compte de votre impudence?
Oui, je sais. Les morts doivent se taire. Alors que je devienne morte pour de bon.
Well, basically, I've been learning French a little bit on and off. So, you know, it's
So
French.
is that a French movie?
Les yeux sans visage.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought that would be... I mean, I've seen it before. It's really, really good, though. Great music.
This is one that I've had for years, but this is the deluxe edition, which you always need extra tracks, you know. This is the link between the old T-Rex and the kind of more kind of produced stuff.
So it's like, he's no drums yet, but it's like still...
It's like, well, he's got Mickey Finnan, like playing bongos or congas.
He's moved to
there's no
electric
drums,
guitar.
yeah, there's bass and all, and they look brilliant as well, don't they?
Yeah, beautiful.
You know, was it the Bisto Kids they call that one? Cover, so.
What's in your bag, Beans?
Okay, well, I've got, quite a lot of things. I've got these books by Leroy Jones.
Quiet, screaming, hooded holy rollers, preacher space, rocket church, nutty logic, straight, no chaser.
I was doing a bit of reading on Thelonious Monk recently, and I saw an online article that sort of referenced Leroy Jones's essay about Monk as being a really good read, so there's kind of reprints of a couple of his books.
I got a nice 12-inch in fact, of Disco Inferno by the Tramps. Back in Glasgow as a side project, I play in a disco band called the Disco Shark, because like a shark, you know, you got to keep moving or else you'll die, right? So it's a Disco Shark. And my good friend Warren, he sings this one, Disco Inferno. Absolute classic.
That was the first record I ever had.
Really?
Disco Inferno by the Tramps, yeah. It was Christmas '79, and I wanted Leif Garrett. I was made for dancing. My dad bought me a K-Tel compilation. It was called Disco Inferno, and that was the first track on it. So
right.
I've still got it in the house.
Of course you do. That's amazing. Yeah.
I kind of like the look of this one, which has a man and a dog on it. I'm a big fan of dogs. Apparently his dog is his only friend. And he struggles to maintain his dignity. And I thought that might be quite interesting as well.
Do you know, I heard this the other day in Monorail in Glasgow. There's a great record shop in Glasgow called Monorail. Ex-Hex.
So we're gonna ride the river before we quit this scene. You're my little waterfall.
Don't know anything about them, but it sounds really like the Runaways.
Yeah.
Good guitar kind of stuff. I think this girl here, she did some recording with members of Sleater-Kinney. I'm not sure which one. I don't know anything about it, but that's a great record.
Got this Philip Glass thing, Einstein on the Beach.
Einstein on the Beach is an opera like no other. There is no story, no hero or heroine, no obvious links between words, images, and music.
Antoine, who was playing violin with us on our last American tour, he'd just, previous to playing with us, he'd been playing in a production of this Philip Glass thing, Einstein on the Beach, and he played us some excerpts from it, and it sounded pretty amazing, so picked a nice looking kind of vinyl press of that.
I actually have here the brand new Sleater-Kinney record.
No one here is taking
I think like the first time the group played in America, it was '97. The first time in New York, I was lucky enough to meet some really interesting people. In fact, Janet from Sleater-Kinney and Fontaine from Versus took me out dancing, and the DJ was Elliott Smith, right? And he played Monkey Man by the Stones, and I went up to thank him. I said, "That's my favourite Stones song. Thanks very much." And he smiled. He's a really nice guy. But you know, memories are made of this, you know.
We get good reviews as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm excited to hear it.
And then a Tatty box set. Is easy watching, I guess, for a lot of mime and things like that. That's the kind of French movie that's gentle on the student, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not the most rigorous language practice.
No, no. So that's kind of my level, really.
Next up, Skinhead Mintstomp.
I want all you skinheads to get up on your feet. Ready? Yeah, 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 yeah.
There was a documentary on BBC TV recently. It was all about sort of youth fashion in the 60s and 70s, and the whole skinhead look from 69, 70. This was one that all the skins had, like, and I haven't actually heard it or done anything of it. Good looking bunch of boys.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Jimmy Smith thing on Blue Note, really, just because as you can see, we've got quite similar taste in knitwear. So
you do.
Obviously Jimmy Smith is a bit of a kind of Hammond organ hero for me as well, so since he's wearing such a neat cardigan on the cover, I thought that's probably worth checking out.
This year is like Vashti Bunyan.
Why does the sky turn grey every night? Sunrise again in time.
I picked this up one day, and like some of our early singles, plus some demos, and I just loved it so much. It's the only time I've ever written a fan letter. I actually, I was so moved by it, and I had this friend who had her email, so I asked for the email and I wrote her a fan letter and just tell her I love her, you know, and she gave me a really sweet reply.
I thought I would also get the War on Drugs record, which I keep hearing and saying, "What's that?" And then it's always that.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. I wouldn't necessarily have thought that was your sort of thing.
Me neither.
Quite classic rock for you.
A little bit, yeah.
Where do you get a load of this? Where do you get a load of this stuff, you know? Jefferson Airplane and the Grateful Dead at the Fillmore. Whenever do you ever remember in the 80s was a magazine called The History of Rock?
I bought that.
Yeah. Well, on the back cover of that magazine was this poster.
Yeah.
And that was about 1984. And I always really fancied it. You know, I thought it looked great. And that's all framed, so I think I'll be taking that home with me. The only problem is I've got no room in my walls, you know, so I think what we'll probably do is have to maybe take my daughter's school photograph down and maybe our class photograph, you know, she'll be too embarrassed in a few years by it anyway, so that'll go down well, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
The album Gara by Marcos Valles, a 70s Brazilian.
Corro por dinheiro, até jogar no chão meu corpo inteiro, eu vou morar no centro da cidade, eu não conheço nem minha cidade.
It's kind of a label that people I know, a label called Light in the Attic, that do a lot of really good reissues, and just you can pretty much pick up anything on the label and it's really good. But yeah, this guy Marcos Valle, he did a run of really interesting records in the kind of late 60s and 70s, and this is one of them.
The greatest rock and roll movie ever made, Give Me Shelter.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
I was born in a crossfire hurricane, and I know with my power in the driving rain. But it's alright, if that is again.
They capture every shot. They capture the whole story of how how it all unfolds. It's at Altamont, folks, if you don't know. The anti-Woodstock that killed the 60s dream.
Yeah, right at the end of it.
December, 69.
Anyway, on that cheery note.
Yeah, that's us. That's what was in our bags.
Thanks, Amiba.
Thank you guys very much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Sitting at the old kitchen table, peace and health and dreams stretching out in the darkness.
Amoeba!